Don't start bleating about the Yanks. I paid cash for them Scud missiles. They better be in my garage by the morning. Investigators say the collision between two vessels in the North Sea that led to 3,000 luxury BMWs being lost at sea was inevitable. As, of course, the person in charge of the BMWs was a tosser who assumed he owned the sea.
Dead ringers.
Have you been injured by an accident at work? Have you tripped or fallen on a loose paving stone? Have you tried to con people out of their life savings with dodgy slimming pills and timeshare scams across 3 continents and have the authorities breathing down your neck? Then call Cherie Direct. At Cherie Direct, our trained lawyer is waiting at number 10, 24 hours a day to take your call.
I'm not Superwoman, and I'm juggling a lot of balls in the air, but I'll do what I can. Over the years, Cherie Direct has helped countless conmen and women facing deportation, like Peter from Australia.
Just one phone call and a couple of faxes to Cherie Direct was all it took for me to get the chance of a generous 6-figure cash settlement from a sleazy Sunday tabloid paper. Bronze.
Phone Cherie Direct today, because with Cherie Direct handling your case, the only person my husband will be wanting to deport is me. Scared lips, timid earlobes, I'm a liability trouser suit.
My fellow invertebrates. This week, a major incident reported took place at sea, during which Colin Powell captured my battleship. Oh yeah, and we also ratified that stupid North Korean boat as well. As a result, the North Korean leader Kim Jong announced that he would be resumerating their nuclear program. A program I condemn because it threatens to desalinate the region. And also because it's a program that hasn't once featured the fawns. But be warned, King Kong. Like others before you, should you threaten New York by climbing the Empire State Building, then my fleet of biplanes will have no choice but to obliterate you from the face of the earth. God bless pancakes.
There you go, sir. Title up. Cheers, mate. You know what? When I saw that Cherie Blair on the telly crying her eyes out, I couldn't help thinking to myself, I should be making some money out of this.
Foster's. He who drinks Australian, thinks Australian.
Wise wizard Gandalf, where will my quest take me?
Far, young hobbit, but it will be worth the journey. You must show great courage as you leave the Shire and head north across misty mountains. There you must venture into Balin's tomb and beyond, though you will need great cunning if you are to defeat the orcs as you cross the raging river Anduin at Parth Galan. Beyond lies the many terrors of dead marches, but survive them, and you will reach first Ithilien and then Mordor, where your search will end.
And you want me to bring you the ring, the one ring that will bring peace to Middle-earth?
No, a carton of milk. There's nothing in the fridge, and I'm gagging for a cup of tea.
Hello, I'm Delia Smith. I'm reminding you of that because I haven't been on your screens for quite some time. That's because there are so many other wonderful cooks on television, each bringing you their own unique perspective on cookery. Which is why I've been working extra hard to bring you some really memorable recipes for this series. Now, for my first dish, I've been greatly inspired by Anthony Worrell Thompson. When I heard the BBC were giving him another series, I broke into his house late at night and slaughtered him like a pig, thus freeing up a good 2 months in the schedules for lots more Delia. Now, I used a machete to dismember his body, but any sharp implement will do. I then left his limbs to simmer in this large pot until the neighbours started to complain about the smell. And now the entire Metropolitan Police Force are after me, but I think you'll agree that the result was worth it. Lovely. And for the finishing touch, His beard makes an excellent garment. Goodbye.
Hello, I'm Mark Lawson, Melvin Bragg with alopecia. The makers of the Harry Potter films have finally ended speculation as to the replacement for Richard Harris in the role of Dumbledore. The role has gone to another legendary British Hellraiser.
Oh, wise and kindly Dumbledore, what advice do you have for a young wizard like me?
Don't have f***ing kids, that's my advice. They're a f***ing nightmare. When they told me I'd be surrounded by magical elves and pot plants that come to life, I thought, yeah, I'll have some of whatever they're having, you know what I mean? But you never told me it'd be for f***ing real, did you? You specky little shit.
But you said you'd show me how to fly using a broomstick.
Listen, son, you take a quarter of the stuff I've had in my life and you'll be flying all right. You won't need no f***ing broomstick.
But without your help, Dumbledore, how will I be able to defeat the evil Lord Voldemort?
You leave Voldemort to me. He thinks he's the f***ing Prince of Darkness. I'll show him who the real Prince of Darkness is. Let's see the look on his face when I bite the head off Professor Snape.
People of Britain, nervous forehead, worried teeth, I hate the Daily Mail bald spot. Fresh allegations continue to surface over Cherie's dealings with conman Peter Foster. This has forced me to take the very tough decision to sack Cherie from her post of being my wife.
That was the Prime Minister making his bombshell announcement earlier today. He joins me here in the studio.
Good evening, Kirsty.
Surely it must have been very difficult sacking the person you most love and cherish.
Well, no, I'm not sacking Alistair Campbell, no. Sorry, you meant Cherie. Well, much like when I split Don Prescott's ministry into three, I want to turn back the clock and divide the job of the politician's wife into the traditional roles of photo opportunities, domestic duties, and rumpy-pumpy. Photo opportunities will be handled by the big red pillar box here. As you can see, its big wide mouth and red face make it the perfect replacement for Cherie.
Is that really practical?
Well, yes. As a matter of fact, the pillar box has been doing the job for the last 6 months and nobody has noticed.
So, presumably, that means that the blow-up doll is going to take care of Rumpy Pumpy, while Robin Cook with the chef's hat and feather duster will take over domestic duties.
Yes, that's exactly right, Kirsty, yes. I feel the same way too, Robin, but I just can't say it here.
Listen, Crow, I couldn't help noticing you haven't asked me to be your best man. On this of all days, you show me no respect, you poetry-loving Aussie puff. Porky ageing Lothario Jack Nicholson said this week he's lost his libido. He's still shouting, "Here's Johnny," but nowadays he can't get the damn thing on.
In previous episodes of Living with the Enemy, we've brought together Hunt saboteurs and Tory MPs, Sloane Rangers and Gypsies. But this is our greatest challenge yet, as we get Time Lord Doctor Who to spend a weekend with the Cyberman family of Essex.
It is true. The Time Lord is forbidden from interfering directly with the affairs of other life forms.
That's a likely excuse for refusing to help with the washing up.
The Cybermen are notoriously evil warriors, but when off duty, they really know how to party.
And this was when we invaded the planet Voga. And this is when we invaded Kronos. And this is when we invaded Garazone. And this is when we invaded Cryon. Lovely.
Thank God that's over. Not even the Daleks ever subjected me to anything quite so arse-paralyzingly painful as that. Maybe things will liven up when we go for a beer. Do you remember that time when I thwarted your plans to invade Gallifrey by scraping a gold badge across the Cyber Leader's chest unit? And gold being lethal to Cybermen, it killed him instantly. Oh, now that was funny.
But a few pints later, everyone starts to relax.
Maybe I didn't treat you
Quite as good as I should have. And maybe I didn't neutralize you quite as often as I should have. Little things I should have said and done, I just never took the time. You were always on my mind.
You were always on my mind.
You're my best mate in the whole galaxy. You are? No, you are. I don't care what the Daleks say. They're a bunch of wankers. Well, that was a top night. But when they insisted on going on for a curry, and then on to invade Telos, and convert the Cryons into unthinking cyber drones, I thought I'd call it a night.
Next week, see how the Bush family of Washington get on when they drop in on the Husseins of Baghdad.
Hello. Now, recipes involving fish are always popular, as we saw in Rick Stein's marvellous programme, Rick Stein's A Taste of the Sea. Well, I'm afraid the sea is all Rick will be tasting from now on, as earlier today, I set his feet in concrete and threw him off the end of Padstow Harbour. Now, I used strong ropes to bind his hands and gag him, but you could just use any old handkerchiefs. Yes, I do realise I've gone barking mad, but then why else would I have bought Norwich City?
Good evening. My next guests are amongst some of the world's greatest bus travellers. They've waited at stops here in the UK, as well in Hollywood, and have also travelled across some of the greatest journeys which have ever been charted. It's a wonderful honour to speak to the two of you today, it really is. I mean, this is a very typical bus stop. I mean, how does this rank alongside some of the very classic bus stops which you have waited over the years? Listen, Beckham, throw the game, or there might be a few more rumours turning up on the internet about you. It's been suggested that Sherry Blair's tearful speech to the nation wasn't as original as people at first assumed, as this footage of Peter Mandelson's last resignation speech shows.
It is not fair to the government that the entire focus of political debate at present revolves around my questionable property deals. Now, I know I'm in a very special position. I have an interesting job. But I know that I'm not Superwoman. The reality of my life is that I'm juggling a lot of balls in the air. Trying to be the Prime Minister's consort at home and abroad and a charity worker. Sometimes some of those balls get dropped. I would never want to harm anyone. Least of all, my Tony.
Thinking about it, has anyone actually ever seen them together?
Wizard Gandalf, where must my quest take me?
Far, young hobbit, but it will be worth it. You must first set out for the ford of Broinan, where the Council of Enron convenes. A bit wary of their advice, for they have lost courage. But listen to them well, for they alone hold the key to success in your battle with the Nazgul as you cross the bridge at Khazad-dûm. Press deeper and deeper into the gloom that is the Farn-Gorn forest until, when all hope seems lost, you finally gaze upon Pelennor Fields and your journey will end.
And you want me to bring back the ring?
No. 20 silk cut and a packet of matches. But don't tell Bilbo, he thinks I've given up.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you the following news flash from the BBC Newsroom.
Hello, I'm one of the Dimblebys. It's too soon to say which one, but we are expecting an announcement shortly. The BBC has just received news that a terrible thing has happened. We don't know what this terrible thing is yet, but the Prime Minister has been first to look sincere.
A terrible thing has happened, and I am deeply angered, saddened, and/or moved. When I find out what it is, I shall be taking tough action and/or extending my sympathies on national television. Earnest cheeks, stern nostrils, I got in before Ian Duncan Smith smiled.
Ian Duncan Smith has interrupted his busy schedule to make this statement about the terrible thing.
I am appalled by this terrible thing.
And the Liberal Democrat leader, Charles Kennedy, made this statement.
Well, I am absolutely appalled by this terrible thing.
And then Ian Duncan Smith said this.
Well, I'm totally and utterly devastated and appalled. Well, I am not only devastated and appalled, I am outraged and shocked. I am infinitely moved and appalled and shocked, recurring with no returns.
And no sombre occasion like this would be complete without a statement from the palace.
My husband and I knew this terrible thing would happen. One just forgot to mention it to anyone.
And now it's time for some pointless conjecture with Professor Robert Nibbs, an expert in terrible things that happen. Professor, what is this terrible thing?
Well, I have no idea.
Well, that won't stop you answering the question, though, will it?
No, because as I stated in my book,
Yes.
terrible things that can happen, I did say that somewhere, at some time, somewhere
Yes.
in the world, something terrible would actually happen, and I've been proved right.
Proved right.
Yes.
Right. Well, I'm told that we can now return to normal programmes because although a terrible thing has happened, it was a long way away and no Westerners were involved. Good night.
Excuse me, just read on getting the message across. So as democracy, and this is a situation happening now, and on the front here.
No, I'm not interested.
Interested indeed the big paper on the natural question. It will live here and going on and discussing the situation in here. Also, possibly the message, communication, as we see it.
I'm busy at the moment.
It's very important to see the situation of that and on the front view.
Absolutely.
And indeed, the click on and
Let's leave you in peace. It's been very good talk.
Excellent. Message across. Conclusion. And it was indeed, and in the front the citizen.
We're all citizens, aren't we? Citizen Smith, Citizen Jones.
Oh, indeed, and across.
Thanks very much.
Good, sir. Message across.
Hello, I'm Hannah Gordon, a cross between Judith Chalmers and some fabric conditioner. On today's watercolour challenge, we're using this sunset scene to compare the methods of artists today and 100 years ago. On the modern side, it's our old friend Arthur Hughes from Hereford. Well, Arthur, how's the lakeside view going?
Well, Hannah, initially I had a little trouble capturing the water, but I've adjusted my colostomy bag and it's fine now.
Lovely. And do you think your techniques would have been the same 100 years ago?
Oh, no. I'd have just weed in a bucket, I should think.
Well, have a sterling day, Sarah. Representing the artists of 100 years ago, it's post-impressionist master Vincent van Gogh. What's with the bandage, Vincent?
Oh, this? I also cut off half of my ear with a razor.
Lovely. Let's hope you're not so clumsy with a paintbrush.
Yeah, it was an outburst of violent self-loathing.
Super. Now, Vincent, as one of the greatest artists of all time, I expect you've produced an extraordinary work of artistic genius. But more importantly, have you had a nice day out?
Yeah, my painting is a distortion of shape and color, which is there to convey the most elemental of emotions. I'm not some amateur chocolate box man like your Arthur Hughes here.
Oh, you want a piece of me, do you, eh? Well, how many paintings have you ever sold?
One.
One?
Yeah.
I've sold 3. Yeah, 3. So stick that in your clogs, you Dutch loon, and... Oh, dear, it's come away again. I'm going to do you.
Lovely. Well, as you can see, we're having a super day out here, but I have to go home now, because at midnight I turn into a tin of tartan shortbread. Goodbye.
Would I like to have a family? And what kind of question is that to ask to Russell Crowe? Of course I'd like to have a family. I just can't decide whether it's Tom Hanks's one or Steven Spielberg's one that I want.
Following fresh allegations in the press, Cherie and I felt it necessary to make this statement. What they say is true. We have been taken for a ride by a second Australian conman. G'day, it's your old mate Rolfie here. When we handed Rolf all that money, we thought we'd get a luxury cut-price flat in Bristol, but it just turned out to be a hamster with a bit of a dicky tummy that did not make it all the way through the night. Duped forehead, bemused teeth, taken for a ride underpants.
And he conned us out of a fortune, backing these miracle pills that he said would grow us an extra leg. Remorseful hair, brave lipstick, appealing to mothers everywhere, tears.
They must have been little dumb to fall for that. Have you guessed who's just sold her a half share in Sydney Opera House yet?
Now, last week, you'll remember I made a dress made out of Gary Rhodes's skin. But I was a little bit careless about leaving evidence, so I've finally been caught. Every criminal genius makes a fatal mistake sooner or later, and mine was to write detailed notes of all my crimes and publish them in hardback across 1999 from all good bookshops. There's a particularly good recipe on page 33 involving Ainsley Harriet's liver and a nice Chianti.
Or you could just use Valpolicella. I won't be here next week because I'll be helping the police stop an evil mastermind who preys on men and leaves their bodies completely drained of fluid. Or Nigella, as she's otherwise known.
He was a skater boy. She said, see you later, boy. He wasn't good enough for her. More on that story later. Last week, the government announced it's to spend billions on a major road widening scheme. But hidden in the bill was another, even more controversial proposal, a scheme to widen John Prescott. Preparations at the depot have already begun.
Oh, we're confident the Prescott widening scheme will be completed on time. My men will be shoveling these pasties for consumption round the clock. And that cement mixer has been whipping up Bird's trifle and custard for weeks.
I'm joined in our Westminster studio by John Prescott.
Well, Kirsty, it's essential I am widened to accommodate the expected tenfold increase in the number of pies handled by my small intestine by 2008. As you can see, there is a major bottleneck here where the chips and pies go. So what we propose is 3 new mouths, 2 on my shoulders and 1 on my forehead.
But what benefits will this have for the public?
Well, in answer to that, Kirsty, you've had your pudding, I like to have mine with custard. And whereas, in fact, I think you'll find Mr. Ginster agrees with me on that very point, the more food I eat means the fewer incomprehensible sentences I'll be giving on programmes like this.
This could be the most popular thing you've ever done.
I took the words mouth out of mine right.
My name is Greg Dyke, and I am Director General of the BBC. Bring back Doctor Who, all right, but it's not going to be any Daleks in it. No, they cross me once too often. Now, a government independent review body has been mouthing off about my 24-hour rolling news channel, News 24. They say, unless we make it more distinctive, it's going to be taken off the air. Right, I'll make it bloody distinctive. Instead of 24-hour rolling news, we'll make it 24-hour bowling news. All the latest greens, all those funny acts, all the gossip, breaking news about which club room serves the best cream teas. And if that still isn't distinctive enough for them, I'll just turn it into 24-hour strolling news. Strollers, strollers and more strollers. As long as there's a pun left in my body, nobody is taking one of my stations off the air.
So, wise wizard Gandalf, where is it my quest is going to take me?
Far, young hobbit, but it will be worth it. You must cross the Barrow Downs and breathe.
Yeah, I get the idea. Over this, across that, beyond bloody something else. Look, I'm only going on this quest if at the end of it there will be the ring. Well, will the ring be there?
I wouldn't have thought so. It's been in my pocket the whole time.
Then why, again and again, have you sent me on these epic quests?
Because I'm a bastard. Just because someone has a beard and a big flowing cloak, that doesn't mean they're nice, you know.
If you don't get me that lock of Prince Harry's hair as agreed, Sunshine, they'll only be able to identify you by your DNA. MI5 says Osama bin Laden may have bought 40 suitcase bombs. What's even more terrifying is that each suitcase comes with its own Celtic supporter.
Very good evening, and welcome to the Sky at Night. I recently purchased this huge, immensely powerful telescope, which allows me to observe images from the furthest reaches of the cosmos. Images so distant, they in fact transpired many billions of years ago in the past. As I look into the distant depths of space, one is offered rare glimpses of the birth of planets, stars coalescing together to form new galaxies. In fact, we can see so far back in time that even the early stages of the birth of our universe are visible. And if one is to look even further back than that, yes, it's quite incredible. One would see me in Dunn & Company on Oxford Street buying this jacket just over 4 billion years ago in what was to become known as the First Jacket Age. Certainly brings back some very happy memories. Thank you very much. Very good night. Good night.
Later this evening on 4, we have a documentary that takes a sensitive look at the issues surrounding gender reassignment. That's Bloody Hell, That Weird-Looking Bloke's Wearing a Dress, tonight at 9.
I think what's important about people is what's on the inside, which is why I think it's absolutely frightful that in our society people are persecuted just because of the colour of their skin. I mean, take me, I'm a normal, lovely person, but I face prejudice every day just because I'm orange.
TV presenters all across the country are asking themselves, is it because I is orange?
Now, let me tell you something. I was repeatedly bullied at school. They treated me no better than a dog or a bargain hunt contestant. Was it because I was orange? Or was it because I was just generally an annoying tit?
Orange boy!
But like so many other children, I found there was one way of deflecting the bullies.
I'd say an 8er, possibly a 9er. It has been vinegared, but I just say that adds to the value. And at a cost of 1 dairy triangle, I'd say it's a Bobby Dazzler. Ho-ho! Cheap as chips.
Some of the things I get called as an orange person are unbelievable. I mean, I can laugh now, but actually at the time it's very, very upsetting to be called names like Fanta.
Orangutan.
Lucozade.
Oompa Loompa.
But in the end, all we want is for people of all colours to be lovely and at peace with each other.
Tangerine and ivory live together in perfect harmony, side by side on my piano.
These people are fighting for their right to significantly increase their chances of getting skin cancer just so they can look like Spaniards. And together, they believe the future's bright. The future's
orange.
Just time for a quick look at what will be on your newsstands tomorrow morning. The Times is running with more answers needed to Cherie Blair's links with Peter Foster. The Telegraph is demanding a full government inquiry into Cherie-gate. The Mail has an exclusive. Cherie Blair is a witch and should be crushed between stones and then cast into the river. The Beano has Cherie Blair being spanked by Dennis the Menace's dad. Hot Big Ones has an inquiry into whether the Cherie Blair scandal could have been avoided if she'd only pleasured herself by sitting on a washing machine. And finally, the Radio Times has 10 pages of ads for porcelain figurines of Cherie, all showing her with a tear in her eye and an onion in her hand. Good night.